What's going on, guys? This is the Legend BFM coming at you with the next episode of The Breakdown. Now today we're going to go over some tips surrounding the linebacker position. Now most of you are going to use the 3-4 formation. There's going to be times where you'll use a nickel formation. Me personally, I like to use a 3-3-5 nickel formation as well as the 3-2-6 dollar formation. I will also use, the 3-4 formation, other variations of that 3-4 over under, even, as well as the bear formation. Now, when we're talking about linebackers, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and look at different linebackers and what they can do. Before you even get into a game, you obviously want to know who your linebackers are, and depending on the situation, you should already have an idea of where you want to sub them in at. And that's another thing we'll talk about. You can sub in a linebacker, and in certain formations, you can even sub in a safety at a linebacker position. Now, the reason why that's really good is if the guy's using a gun bunch formation, or is using, he's passing a lot, and you want to have speedy players that can actually even cover better than a typical linebacker would, then you definitely want to sub out, put in a safety at linebacker. Now, again, not every formation gets this ability or gets this option. Sometimes in for example, a 3-4 odd formation, you can't sub out a linebacker and put in a safety. So you can't take Sean Taylor, you can't take Jamal Adams, you can't put them in at linebacker. Now, if you're using a nickel formation, 3-3-5, nickel normal, dollar formation, almost any of those other passing formation, pass rush passing formations, you can definitely more than likely sub out your linebacker and put in a safety if that's something you want to do. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of my linebackers, and I'll show you, and I'll talk to you about how I use that linebacker and why I place them in that position. Okay, so these are my linebackers that I have. You can see I have Troy Polamalu, Tahir Whitehead. I am running a Raiders theme team, so this is probably going to look a lot different than most of you guys out there. I got Navarro Bowman, Ted Hendricks, Jadeveon Clowney. He gets all team chems, Mike Jones, and then Khalil Mack. Now, if you look down below, I also have my defensive ends. Again, running Raiders theme team, so I have Clelin Ferrell right there, as well as Howie Long. Now let's talk about our linebackers. We have Ted Hendricks, we have Jadeveon Clowney, Mike Jones, Khalil Mack, Troy Polamalu. Those are going to be the main guys we'll focus on, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I do on given formations. And we'll go ahead and watch some gameplay. We'll use the linebacker, and we'll talk about some things that you might want to do when you are using the linebacker. So I actually sub out Khalil Mack. I have abilities on him. I make him my primary pass rusher on the left-hand side. I don't use him in coverage. He is solely a pass rusher. Now, even though he is a linebacker, he does get that option. You can sub out your defensive end and put in linebacker. So what I actually do is I sub out Howie Long and Clelin Ferrell, and I put in Khalil Mack and Lawrence Taylor. Now, the difference between somebody like a Ted Hendricks and a Khalil Mack is a pass rusher. So if you look at that little archetype at the top left of the card, you're going to see that little symbol of a bull. He's a bull rusher. He's meant to go in, meant to cause havoc, meant to cause trouble. He lives in the backfield. Then you got somebody like this, Ted Hendricks. He's a run stopper. He's great against the run. He's great at shutting the block at the last minute, but he's not that great at rushing the passer. Now, before you say, "Oh, I use him all the time, and he gets hella sacks," he's always in the backfield. Someone like Ted Hendricks, I believe Keith Bullock, Anthony Barr, Kevin Green, Ted Hendricks, they are great linebackers on the blitz. So you don't want to have them down in the down position. You wouldn't use them as your defensive ends. You would use them as a linebacker on the outside, but sending them on a blitz. Those are the ways you would want to use those types of players. But somebody like Khalil Mack, you'd rather have him down on the 3 position, rushing the passer. Now you have other linebackers, your middle linebackers, your Troy Polamalu, your Patrick Willis, Willie Lanier, players like that who may not be fast. Now again, Troy P, he is a golden ticket, so you may or may not have him. As you can see here, I have him 98 speed, 99 acceleration, and that's really what I'm looking for a middle linebacker. I don't really look for coverage. I'm looking for more speed. I want I want to have a middle linebacker with speed that can go and reach the outside in case the guy runs a stretch. Can also stuff the middle if needed, so you want to see that play rec. Obviously, Troy P with that 99 play rec. You have Willie Lanier right here with 97 play rec. Still really great against the run, but for me personally, he's a little too slow. You can get him up to upwards of 96, 97 speed, depending on your chems. So at that point, he's not slow, but on my team, he would only get up to like a 94, 95 speed. Again, I have Troy P, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with it. Okay, so like I said, depending on the formation, I'm going to go ahead and sub out my linebackers. Now, most of the time, I'm going to use the 3-3-5 nickel formation, the 3-2-6 dollar formation. I'll use nickel normal as well. And every now and then, if it's a run heavy formation, then I'll pull out my 3-4 odd formation and I'll go ahead and sub in my linebackers accordingly. If we're running the 3-4 odd, we have the 3 rushers, which again is going to be, in this case, Howie Long, Warren Sapp, and then Khalil Mack with Ted Hendricks, Davion Clowney on the outside, Troy Polamalu with either Tahir Whitehead or Navarro Bowman in the middle. And that's my 3-4 odd formation. Similar setup with my bear formation, 3-4 over, 3-4 strong, whatever it is. It's going to be a very similar setup depending on who I sub in. Now, if we're talking about nickel normal, or we're talking about a 3-3-5, or the dollar formation, which again, those are the 3 formations I typically will like to use if they work. I will go ahead and actually sub out my linebackers and place in my backup safeties, both Sean Taylor and Brian Dawkins. Now, the reason why I sub them out is those are my pass defense formations, nickel normal, 3-3-5, dollar formation. I use those primarily in passing situations, and again, I sub them out because they got the speed, they can cover, and they can hit. They can lay down the boom, and that's definitely something I want. As you can see, I do have abilities on Taylor Mays, but I actually have Sean Taylor activated. So if we look at it, Ronnie Lott, Khalil Mack, and Sean Taylor are the ones activated. Sean Taylor does not see the safety formation. He actually sees the linebacker formation. If it is the 3-4 odd formation or any kind of 3-4 variation, then I will sub out Taylor Mays and put Sean Taylor so I can have both my forces over top, but that's a different story. In the 3-3-5 specific formation, and we'll go into this during some of our gameplay, in the 3-3-5 formation, I actually do use my middle linebacker. So in the 3-3-5, my 3 linemen will be Khalil Mack, Lawrence Taylor, and Warren Sapp, with my 3 linebackers being Troy Polamalu, Brian Dawkins, and Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor will actually be the middle linebacker. And the reason for that, I actually have a play at a 3-3-5 that makes the middle linebacker cover the deep center of the field. So he becomes like an extra safety, which is why I place Sean Taylor there. He's got the speed, he's got the hit power, and he can cover the field. So I can definitely use him as a middle linebacker, and I actually do use him a lot in that formation. Now, what we're going to do next, we're going to go into some gameplay. I'm going to show you some of the subs I make, and we're going to show you how I use the middle linebacker and some things I look out for when I get stuck on him or I actually choose to use a linebacker. Each linebacker is going to have a different role, a different zone coverage that you want to make sure you cover, and we'll go ahead and get into that during our gameplay. Let's jump into it. So now that we know certain linebackers have certain roles, certain linebackers are better at blitzing, some are better at rushing the passer, some are better at stopping and run, and then as well, having the ability to sub them out in different formations, we're going to go ahead and take all that knowledge, put it into this gameplay right here, depending on the formation he comes out in, and we're going to hopefully be able to stop the plays that he's trying to run. Now, me personally, whenever somebody comes out with a 2 wide receiver formation, really, for me, it doesn't really matter what formation as long as there's 2 receivers. I love to run the 3-3-5. So as we can see here, he's running strong pro. I actually do have to make a lot of subs when I do 3-3-5. You can see Howie Long, Lawrence Taylor. I'm going to go ahead and pull Khalil Mack. But as a linebacker, your first priority is always going to be to watch the run. Okay, so if he selects a 1 receiver formation, I'm going to go ahead and come out on 3-4 odd. He's selecting a 2 receiver formation. So I'm actually going to do this. And again, the play that I was telling you about earlier, why I put Sean Taylor in the middle of the field, is this play right here. As you can see, Sean Taylor goes directly in the middle of the field. I'm able to cover deep right there. Go ahead, he gets the first down. Now with that formation, again, Sean Taylor, I can user him. Let's see. I can user Sean Taylor in the middle of the field right there, and he gets amazing coverage. Again, he gets amazing coverage. I can cover the middle field. I can go ahead and go left. I can go right. If nobody goes up the middle field, I got any choices I want to make. Now, first and foremost, I'm watching the run, and then I'm watching the pass. So you saw that, he started running right. I'm always going to creep up a little bit, and once I either commit and decide he's going to run and hand it off, shoot the gap. If not, I'm going to go ahead and play the pass. I have the middle of the field right here, and then I have to watch, again, I have to watch for that deep pass down the field. So I can't get stuck looking at the middle of the field. I have to play that for a few seconds, keep my eyes on both receivers on both sides of the ball, make sure nobody's trying to cut across, and then I have to make my decision from there on what I'm going to do. Okay, so the quarterback spy, this is a really, really great thing that you might want to take advantage of. And you probably, if you have the ability, I would place it on a linebacker, not a lineman. That is my personal preference. You can go ahead and place it on whoever you want. But in this formation, on my 3-3-5, I have a linebacker and quarterback spy. And if you don't know, if you want to send the quarterback spy on any given play, just like I'm doing there, you can see. If you want to send the quarterback spy at the quarterback, instead of having to switch onto him, if you get frustrated, he's just standing there 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and he's just waiting. You want to send him, click down, don't push it, don't push them, actually click the stick, click the right stick, and that will send your quarterback spy to blitz the quarterback. Now, you definitely want to make sure before you send the quarterback spy that you go ahead and either he's out of the pocket. The reason being, if he's in the pocket and you send that spy could get picked up on one of the offensive linemen. And if he gets picked up, you have nobody protecting you if he decides to run out of the pocket. And there's a good chance, I've done this a few times, where he will actually break, contain, and pick up a first down. So we're going to see here, hopefully he runs, hopefully he tries to escape. And we're going to send our quarterback spy. Again, he's right there. You can see him. As soon as he started running towards a side of the field, as soon as he moved, whether it's left or right, he could have stayed in the pocket, but as soon as he moved, that's when I decided to send my quarterback spy. The reason being, as you can see there, as soon as he got outside of the pocket, immediately he has pressure. He has to start thinking on his feet. So we can see here, I'm going to send him a little bit early. See, I sent him, and he actually got blocked. But if we look at it, he actually got picked up, and that's why I don't like to send my quarterback spy right away. I like to do it once the quarterback moves. In that case, I did do it a little early, and we saw that he got picked up on the block. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today on the linebacker position. Please let me know what you thought of it. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe to my channel. We're going to go ahead, and our next episode, we're going to talk about using the safety and some things you want to keep an eye out. And some of my favorite plays to go ahead and actually bait the quarterback when he comes out in certain formations. Thank you all so much. You guys have a good day.